Good evening, everyone. Welcome to NTD Tonight. I'm David Lamb, sitting in for David Zhang. Here are some of today's top stories. Former President Trump says he's willing to include Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in debates with President Biden. CY California could be joining several other states in charging for each mile driven. Sentenced to 30 years for attacking former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer. Attacker David DePape now set to serve jail time. First up, former President Trump says he's willing to include Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in the recently announced debates with President Biden. He also hinted when he could announce his pick for vice president.
Well, I have no problem with him. I think he's really not doing well in the polls at all. His numbers have gone down a lot lately, but I would have no problem if he got whatever the threshold is.
Trump made the comments in an interview with Scripps News. He also said there is a chance he would announce his pick for vice president at the upcoming Republican National Convention. The convention is set to be held in Milwaukee in mid-July. A few potential vice president picks showed up beside Trump recently in New York to show support for the former president during his trial. This includes Senator J.D. Vance, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Trump has been careful not to confirm any rumors about who his choice could be.
On this vote, the ayes are 24, the nays are 20.
The House Judiciary and House Oversight panels both voted to advance contempt of Congress proceedings against Attorney General Merrick Garland. Republicans subpoenaed the Justice Department to turn over audio recordings of Special Counsel Robert Hur's interview with President Joe Biden. President Biden is asserting executive privilege over the audio recordings. During the panel discussion, the meeting descended into brief moments of chaos with partisan bickering. Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene asked if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter, and soon got into some intense exchanges with Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York.
You know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath even
order.
Point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think so.
The committee eventually returned to debating the contempt resolution against Garland, which passed along party lines.
The motion passes. Pursuant to this vote, the committee hereby adopts the report recommending that the House of Representatives find Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with a subpoena duly issued by this committee.
This vote paves the way for the full House to vote on holding the Attorney General in contempt. It is not clear when that vote could take place. First son Hunter Biden is trying to delay his California tax evasion trial set for June. His attorney cited the tough task of preparing for two bi-coastal trials in the same month. Attorney Abby Lowell filed a request to postpone the trial to September 5th. The younger Biden recently lost his bids to halt proceedings and pursue appeals in his California tax evasion and Delaware gun cases. Lowell cited some difficulties the legal team has encountered. He mentioned delays in securing expert witnesses, saying the experts also need to be provided with tons of documents to review. Biden's attorney argues they also need time to speak with witnesses in multiple states. We have updates on extreme weather conditions battering Texas and Louisiana. At least 4 people are dead following severe storms in the Houston area. Winds as high as 84 miles per hour swept through the Gulf Coast yesterday. The storms brought heavy rain, widespread debris, downed power lines, and shattered windows along the way. Some residents in Houston packed into a Costco grocery store to take shelter from the storm. Store workers brought down shutters and were heard asking customers to move to the center of the store. In nearby Louisiana, streets were flooded by heavy rain. The storms triggered flash flood warnings in multiple cities. Widespread rainfall totals of 2 to 6 inches are expected from Texas to Georgia through Saturday morning. A few spots caught under multiple torrential storms may pick up 8 inches or more of rain. The Spring California GOP convention is underway in the city of Burlingame. NTD's Jason Blair was on the ground earlier and spoke with some delegates on what they think are some key issues for Republicans right now.
Things are just getting started here at the Hyatt Regency in Burlingame, California. And the people I've spoken with so far are really hoping that the Republican Party can unite and move forward into the November elections, focusing on the values that the party represents.
All the Republicans are concerned about taxation, the border, the schools.
And our goal, our push this year is to make people go out and vote because their freedom on ballots this year.
Everything seemed to be coming against us, but it's turning around. And I can feel it. It feels like a very good earthquake.
And I'm hoping that all Republicans united and will be behind the only conservative president nominate, President Trump.
There are some meetings scheduled a little later today focusing on voting and election integrity. Saturday will probably be the biggest day with a lot of speakers and meetings scheduled. Laura Trump is scheduled to speak at a dinner banquet in the evening. Then things will be winding down on Sunday with a half days of activities. Reporting in Burlingame, California, Jason Blair, NTD News.
Another U.S. state is considering a pay-per-mile fee for drivers. California is testing out a road charge system that charges all drivers, including those with electric vehicles. It could replace gas taxes as the state pushes for EV and hybrid vehicles. As electric and hybrid vehicles are seen on the roads more, U.S. states say they've seen a drop in gas tax revenue. So they're researching per-mile fees. California is testing out its road charge pilot program. Drivers will be required to pay a fee each month depending on how many miles they drive. If it works out well, the per-mile system could eventually replace gas taxes. The pilot is a 6-month program from August 2024 to January 2025, and participants can earn up to $400 in gift cards and refunded all the gas taxes incurred. At least 3 other states already implemented a road charge system, such as Oregon, Utah, and Virginia. Many other states, such as Hawaii and Washington, are considering. States feel charging people for the miles they drive will equate to their fair share of paying for road repairs and wear and tear. According to California's Transportation Agency, around 80% of highway and road repairs are funded by a tax on gasoline charged at the pump when you buy gas. Californians pay about $300 a year in state gas taxes. NTD calculated the potential cost using the road charge calculator. The Transportation Department says the average American drives around 1,100 miles per month with an average miles per gallon of 24 mpg. And at 2 cents per mile, that could add up to $22 per month compared to $26 in fuel taxes. But it's unclear what the exact charge will be per mile, as lawmakers will have to decide that per state. Washington state had legislation considering charging 2.5 cents per mile. David Lamb, NTD News, California. The man convicted of attacking Representative Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer in his home is sentenced to 30 years in prison. Defense attorneys argued the man was motivated by his political beliefs.
Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley sentenced 44-year-old David DePape on Friday to 30 years in prison. He was convicted of attempting to kidnap then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and attacking her husband, Paul Pelosi, with a hammer. The attack was captured on police body camera video. DePape admitted during trial testimony that he broke into the Pelosi's San Francisco home in October 2022, intending to hold the speaker hostage and, quote, break her kneecaps if she lied to him. He also admitted to attacking Paul Pelosi with a hammer after police showed up, saying his plan to end what he viewed as government corruption was unraveling. Last November, jurors found him guilty. Prosecutors had asked for a 40-year prison term. DePape was given 20 years for one count and 30 years for another count. The sentences will run concurrently. He was also given credit for the 18 months that he's been in custody. Defense attorneys argued DePape was motivated by his political beliefs, not because he wanted to interfere with Nancy Pelosi's official duties as a member of Congress, making the charges against him invalid.
The court's sentence will ensure that DePape will not be able to use violence to pollute the political process. Robust, passionate political debate is appropriate and often necessary in our democracy. But today's sentence is a stern reminder that political discourse must never transform into violence.
The attack on Paul Pelosi, who was 82 at the time, happened just days before the midterm elections. He suffered 2 head wounds, including a skull fracture that was mended with plates and screws he will have for the rest of his life. His right arm and hand were also injured.
We'll take a short break now, everybody, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come right back. An increase in stabbings reported on Los Angeles metro buses. How are locals feeling? How is the mayor responding? Top golfer Scottie Scheffler was briefly detained by Kentucky police. The golfer says it was all just a misunderstanding during a chaotic morning. A puppy having a rough time after being stuck inside a wall. Firefighters shared a video of the adorable rescue. Those stories and more coming up on NTD Tonight. Welcome back to NTD Tonight. I'm your host, David Lamb. An increase in stabbings reported on Los Angeles metro buses this week. It's prompted the mayor to address safety concerns for commuters and bus operators. NTD's BJ King hears more from riders and drivers.
A string of stabbings earlier this week on Los Angeles metro buses has prompted both the Metro Board and the mayor to address safety concerns for bus travelers. We spoke to metro bus operators and commuters to share their experiences and views on how safe they feel on LA's buses. Los Angeles Mayor and Metro Board of Directors Chair Karen Bass stated she ordered an immediate increase in public safety personnel for LA metro systems in response to a sudden trend of violence on metro buses. 3 separate stabbing incidents occurred within 48 hours of each other. Footage from the Citizen app showed police detaining a person who allegedly attacked a driver with a machete. Later, a man was shot and killed on a metro bus. We asked local bus transit riders to talk about how safe they feel during their commute.
No, I just transitioned from Chicago. It's very violent there, and I still feel relatively safe here for the most part. I'm from a different metropolitan city. Ours is more violent than this. So I'm still confident in the transit system here.
Oh, I've been on the bus system since the 1980s, and then, but mostly since after 2000.
So you would say that the buses are not as safe or supervised as they used to be?
Exactly. And especially that has escalated within the past 2 years, I would say. But there has been incidents when there should have been I would say authority protection.
Reports of an increase of violence on buses has persisted since last month, especially against bus operators, which prompted many of them to stage a sick-out. We spoke to multiple Metro Transit bus operators who requested to be kept anonymous and have their identities obscured through visual and audio means, but wish to share their part of the story with us regardless.
I am a Metro bus operator, and no, we don't feel safe at all. Every day is getting worse, and people are just getting crazier. What can I say? Just really unsafe. Unsafe for all of us and the patrons.
Would you feel like it's safe for other people?
It's not safe for the patrons either. They're getting burglarized, they're getting bullied, it's just not safe.
The Metro Board of Directors approved an emergency action to expedite the installation of protective barriers to improve operator safety. But one bus operator told us that the existing barriers currently installed were too small to effectively protect drivers. We had also heard a story about a female bus operator who encountered a man stripping naked on her bus, climbing over the driver barrier, and jumping into her lap. BJ Kang, NTD News, Los Angeles, California.
Retail theft and smash and grab robberies persist across the U.S., with thieves making off with thousands of dollars in merchandise. NTD's Christina Corona highlights some of the latest occurrences that are all captured on video.
Surveillance footage shows two men looting an Orange County Target, making off with nearly thousands of dollars in goods. The theft occurred at a Target on Jamboree Road in Irvine, with the men seen entering and heading straight for the baby care section. They quickly grabbed items off shelves, one filling a plastic bag while the other gathered items in a box. Irvine police said the men escaped with around $1,200 worth of breast pumps. They left the area before officers could arrive. On Monday, the Philadelphia Police Department released a video showing a man wielding a hammer striking the front display of a boutique. The incident occurred in the early hours on Friday, May 10th. The man can be seen looking at the store display before taking out a hammer as he looks around toward the street and sidewalk. After shattering the glass, he reaches in and grabs a purse before striking the display again. He can be seen grabbing another bag and swiftly leaves the scene. Philadelphia PD said the theft totaled nearly $5,000 worth of goods. Last week, surveillance footage shows two men in ski masks smashing into display cases at jewelry store Lux Bond and Green in downtown Westport, New York. The men can be seen in hooded sweatshirts and gloves smashing the display cases with sledgehammers. The incident occurred during normal business hours at 3 p.m. and only took 30 seconds. Westport PD said thieves got away with just over $100,000 worth of high-end watches. Anyone with information on these suspects are urged to call their designated police departments. Christina Corona, NTD News.
A surprising incident at the PGA Championship where world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler was arrested following a tragic incident. The golfer says it all stemmed from a misunderstanding. NTD's Carlos Reyes has more.
In a shocking turn of events at the PGA Championship, world #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler found himself in handcuffs early Friday morning. The incident unfolded just outside Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, where the tournament is being held. Louisville Metro Police arrested Scheffler after he allegedly attempted to drive through an entrance that had been closed off due to a traffic accident. The chaos began around 5 a.m. Eastern Time when a shuttle bus struck and killed a pedestrian near the golf course. As a result, traffic was halted for everyone trying to reach Valhalla. Amidst this turmoil, Scheffler decided to navigate his way to the course but was stopped by police. Scheffler, holding his credential, believed he was following the directions previously given to him. However, the traffic patterns had changed due to the accident reportedly leading to a misunderstanding. According to eyewitness Jeff Darlington, Scheffler drove around the crash scene but was instructed to stop by an officer. When he continued moving towards the entrance, the officer, identified as Detective Gillis, was injured as he tried to stop Scheffler's car. Scheffler faces multiple charges, including second-degree assault of a police officer, a felony, along with reckless driving and criminal mischief, both misdemeanors. After being briefly detained, Scheffler was released without bail and managed to arrive at Valhalla just in time for his 10:08 a.m. tee time. In a statement, Scheffler expressed his sorrow for the tragic accident that claimed a life and described the situation as a misunderstanding during a chaotic morning. Carlos Reyes, NTD News.
Recent data revealed that California has the most number of jobs lost. It also has the highest unemployment rate in the U.S.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and Federal Reserve of Economic Data, California ranks top for the most job losses in the nation so far this year. About 483,000 Californians lost their jobs during the first quarter of this year. That's about 27,000 more than last quarter, and about 89,000 more jobs lost compared to the same time last year. In addition, as of March this year, the state's unemployment rate is the highest in the nation at 5.3%. Nevada follows suit at 5.1%. Washington State, Illinois, and New Jersey tie at 4.8%, and Alaska at 4.6%. In recent years, many tech companies have been laying off employees to cut costs and ensure their longevity. This includes Tesla, Google, Meta, Netflix, Amazon, among others.
A dog was rescued after getting stuck inside a wall in a California home. Firefighters shared a video of the adorable rescue on social media. NTD's Jason Blair brings us more.
Firefighters were called to a home in Orange County on Monday to help get a dog out from inside a wall.
What's up, Faye?
The dog, Faye, somehow crawled through a plumbing access door, getting completely in between the walls. About a quarter into the video the Orange County Fire Authority posted on Tuesday, Faye sticks her snout through the hole the rescuers were making.
Come on, girl.
Faye waited patiently while two firefighters made the hole bigger with hammers and tore away pieces of the wall with their hands. Eventually, the hole was big enough for Faye to fit through, and the rescuers were able to coax her out. On Facebook, the Orange County Fire Authority said, quote, "This pup was pretty happy to see the firefighters' friendly faces and reunite with loved ones. And according to the family, Faye is probably already planning her next bit of mischief." Jason Blair, NTD News.
Stay tuned for China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer coming up next. China doubling down on saving its slumping real estate sector, asking debt-ridden local governments to buy homes that are yet to be sold. One big question, where's the money coming from? More on China in Focus with Tiffany Meyer at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on NTD Tonight every weekday at 9 p.m. I'm David Lamb, sitting in for David Zhang. Have a wonderful weekend.